So it is visible. Is it displayed or not? Can you confirm?
Yes, yes, it is fine now.
Okay. Good afternoon. I think we are coming back after a gap. So today, what we will be discussing about quantum harmonic oscillator must be continued uh, because some of the derivations we use here that will be directly followed in photonics devices. So we'll be earlier we have just discussed about, we have introduced two operators, right? That A and A dagger. Uh, that is actually in terms of position operator and momentum operator. And we try to derive the ground state of a harmonic oscillator using those two operators, and that is very simple as such. So little bit flashback. So I think you can remember last class we have discussed this commutator relationship A and A dagger. So A and A dagger commutes to 1. Okay. And then I think we just recollect the expression for A and A dagger. That is, we have introduced like this, such that we get A dagger A equal to this one and A dagger equal to this one. And if we use that directly here, so we can find that the Hamiltonian operator from that previous equation, this equation 135 and 136. If you try to find out Hamiltonian operator in terms of A dagger A and Hamiltonian operator in terms of A dagger, then we get the same thing, Hamiltonian operator here. And also along with that, this equation. Okay, so we'll come back to this 139 equation a little while later. That's what we mentioned, that A dagger A, if you just put in, then I think that will be a number. And in an optical mode, if you just consider it as a harmonic oscillator, then this n is a number of photons basically. So we will again go back to before going into the photon numbers, etc. So we want to do some more treatment about harmonic oscillator. First of all, let us try to see what is the ground state. If we can find a simple harmonic oscillator. Simple harmonic oscillator means you understand the mass that is under in a potential well, which is parabolic, half m omega square x square. So that is the simple harmonic oscillator. That's how it will be oscillating. What is the motion? Everything we need to solve from the Schrodinger wave equation. And in terms of operator form, we can write down this way. So if you have already defined this Hamiltonian in terms of A dagger, then we can say that if we just operate on any arbitrary eigenfunction, any state psi n, harmonic oscillator, so that can be written as just replaced H with the operator we have introduced, A dagger A plus half. If you are writing A dagger A, it will be plus half, and if you are writing A dagger, then it will be minus half. So it is easy to remember. We have derived earlier, but to remember, because again and again you have to use this equation. So it is easy to, so A dagger means it is something like that plus type symbol, fast coming, then it is plus. That way you can remember. So Hamiltonian, you are operating on psi n, then you get some energy corresponding to that psi n, energy eigenvalue, right? Okay, even though we are not putting hat here, they are operators, you should keep in mind. So we'll do a little bit of processing here, just to derive the ground state. What we do, we multiply A, left multiply. That means left side you multiply A both side. So let us forget this term, just this equal to this. And you are multiplying A from the left here. So here also you have to multiply A from the left. Okay, so h card omega is a constant. So we are writing A multiplying here, A dagger A from this term comes. And here A by 2. psi n, and straightforward En is the number eigenvalue, so we can write A psi n. So it is just straightforward, right? Now what we do from equation 141, normally operator you cannot bring back and forth, right? So wherever sequence you have to keep in mind. But here we can play a trick. This A, I can just take outside in the right side. So there should not be any problem. If I take A outside here, that will be clubbed into A psi n here. Then what is left over here, A dagger. A dagger means from the commutation rule, A dagger means 1 plus A dagger A from equation 137. So this A dagger, whatever I get here, instead of that, from the commutation rule, I just replace this one. 1 plus A dagger A plus half, and A taken right side, it has been taken like this. Now, little bit processing here. So what we do here, you see, if you just, 1 is a number, right? So 1 is a number, 1 and A psi n. Here also A psi n. So this 1 means multiplied h cut omega that I have taken to right hand side. So this 1 corresponding term I have taken to right hand side. And what is left over in the left hand side is h cut omega A dagger A plus again half A psi n. So look carefully, equation 143. So you have operator this one here. You are operating on this. Then what you get? You get En minus h cut omega and same function. That means as a whole you operate this one on this wave function after operating A. Then what you get? You are getting same wave function A psi n with a eigenvalue. That means this can be considered as a eigenvalue of this one. And what is this one? This is again from the equation 140, if you see, that is nothing but a Hamiltonian, right? So this Hamiltonian, if you are just operating on this, then it should be a same function coming back, then you are getting this one. That means A psi n is a eigenfunction again. And that eigenfunction will have a eigenvalue just h cut omega lower than En. Right? So that means what we can say that this function giving another eigenfunction, A psi n is giving another eigenfunction, eigenstate, and which is having a eigenvalue lower than En by h cut omega. So we can rewrite this equation carefully, you see. I am writing this Hamiltonian as it is, and this one I am just giving psi with a subscript n minus 1, because you have energy reduced. Just h cut omega we are considering here as if 1 unit. Then we are writing that En minus h cut omega is like En minus 1, and this is En minus 1. So now it is a conclusion now. Thus we have A psi n is this one, is an eigenstate with this eigenvalue En minus 1 equal to En minus h cut omega. So what you are getting then, if you are writing like this, A psi n, and then you are getting A psi n minus 1. That is one step lower. That means lower eigenstate you are getting. So normally your harmonic oscillator is supposed to give you different solutions, right? So they are actual eigensolutions, eigenstates. So those eigenstates actually you can get if you know one of the eigenstate, say nth eigenstate psi n, you operate on it A, then you get the lower, immediately lower wave function psi n minus 1. And this psi n minus 1 will have a energy eigenvalue this one. So this is very important. So here now you understand what was the utility of this operator A. If you know any wave function, any solution, eigenstate solution, you operate it, then you get lower state. Again you operate, then again you get one lower level state. Okay, so that means it is actually lowering it helps to find out the lower order eigenstate. That is why this operator is known as annihilation operator. Or sometimes some books you will say that they are the lowering operator because it is lowering the eigenstate. So lowering operator. Okay. So this is clear. So A will be called as A, whatever we have defined here earlier. You just remember A in terms of X, B, these things. If you have a wave function known, you operate entire this operator X plus this, so whatever the value is there, then you're supposed to get immediately lower eigenstate. Okay. So, and also you know what would be the energy eigenvalue for that. So now, can you think of that if you are operating A on psi n, then you are getting psi n minus 1. So if you are operating A dagger on psi n, what you will get? Can anyone answer? I can ask someone. Renu, tell me. A dagger, if you are just operating A dagger psi n, what you
The
supposed to get?
the upper state, one state upper than En.
You will be getting psi n plus 1. Can you prove that?
We have to operate a dagger on Chai, then like we'll get the
So
Chai
same,
N plus one.
so same process you have to follow. Same process
Yeah.
you have to follow. So probably you can use the any of the Hamiltonian you can use in terms of A dagger A or A dagger minus half. So here it is just shown how you can get this one. So you start with another Hamiltonian where you can define Hamiltonian as A dagger minus half. Okay, this is h card omega and psi n, and then again you left multiply with A dagger. Earlier you were using other Hamiltonian and you were multiplying left multiplication of A only, but here A dagger. So you process same way. What you can take, you just after multiplication you are getting this one. So as if you are getting A dagger psi, right? Psi n, that is what you wanted to find. What would be the ultimate thing you will be getting. So you just process this one A dagger if you just take outside, and A dagger A, if you are using commutation relation, that means A dagger A means A dagger minus 1, like this. So this minus 1 h card omega, and this one if you take right hand side, then a plus h card omega comes. So you get another Hamiltonian here ultimately as shown in equation 145. And this one you can denote as psi n plus 1 because why n plus 1? Because your energy is increased by h card omega. So energy is higher now, 1 unit higher. So En plus 1, psi n plus 1. So it is straightforward. So here what you are getting, then we are defining A dagger psi n like psi n plus 1. That means if you operate A dagger on any eigenstate, then you get immediately upper eigenstate. So this is so useful operator. You have A dagger you have expressed in terms of just simple linear x and p operator, position operator and momentum operator, and you don't have to solve the second order differential equation like whatever given by Hamiltonian original Schrodinger wave equation. You just use first order differentiation and then you can get all these things. Okay, so this is called, this A dagger is now called creation operator, or it is a raging operator. Sometimes some books you will find it is called a raging operator. So normally, you know, whenever you are just working with just quantum harmonic oscillator for with a mass, etc., then it is easier. They are normally calling it A and A dagger as just a lowering operator and raging operator. That means eigenstate lowering and raging. But whenever you are using for photonics purpose, if you see any quantum photonic books, they normally prefer to call it as a creation operator and annihilation operator. So creation operator and annihilation operator, actually operator, you know, it is just a representation of a measurement. You have instrument, and if you measure some measurement, if you see one photon is gone from the system, then that means one photon is annihilated. Okay, that's why it is called annihilation operator. One photon is taken out of the system, that's why annihilated. One photon is annihilated. If it is a quantum particle, that is annihilated. And here, in case of one photon adding h card omega type things, it is happening, then it is called creation operator. That means one photon is being created. So the system is being creating one photon. That's why creation operator. So that's a sometimes lowering operator, raising operator, or annihilation operator, creation operator. That's actually a different domain, electronics domain to photonics domain. Normally people prefer, but I think they interchangeably they use that. You don't have to bother. Fine. So now we understand that the wave eigenstate, if somehow, if you can solve, if you know a eigenstate, then you can easily find what is the immediately higher state, how it will be looking like, how it is the it would be function, what would be its eigenvalue, what would be the shape, how to operate that, everything you can find out. Okay, so that is the beauty of these two operator we have introduced, A dagger. So we just now think of that if you see using A dagger, you can find out all the wave function for a given wave function, given eigenstate. Now, is it possible, just think about that, is it possible for a harmonic oscillator to find ground state first? So if you know ground state, then you can just use A dagger, then you get psi 1. If you know psi naught, then you can get psi 1. What will be the value? Just you operate this one. This operator, you know how it is defined earlier. That operator you operate, then you can get. Now, normally, if you see any quantum mechanics book, they solve this harmonic oscillator or parabolic potential. They use with a lot of mathematical derivations and to find out what is the ground state and what is the higher state, all those things. But here, if you just a little bit think, very quickly you can find what is the psi naught without just with simple mathematics, simple solutions of a first order differential equation. So now we'll see that how psi naught can be derived from a parabolic potential or harmonic oscillator. Okay, so that is our goal, ultimate goal. Once we can find the ground state, then easily we can move forward here. So you know, if you have somehow psi naught, you are defining psi naught, ground state is this one, then you definitely know that if you operate A on psi naught, what are you supposed to get? That is the ground state. So this is actually the mathematical assumption you are considering, ground state, and you are operating A. That means it is a lowering operator. So whenever you are trying to lower your ground state, what you get? So you get nothing. So that is how we put here 0. So that is actually mathematically you have to consider. That is a practical, feasible things. That if you just operate the ground state with A, you get nothing. Nothing means you put 0 mathematically. And again, if you just operate A dagger, then you get psi naught. You operate psi naught, then it is actually a raging operator. A dagger is called raging operator. Then you're supposed to get psi 1, right? So that is what we have seen earlier with the operator method, Hamiltonian method. Yeah. So now let us consider this thing, first one, this annihilation operator. So what I am trying to do here, I am just directly putting the expansion of A operator. You know, A is defined like this. This is the A operator, right? And A dagger is just a minus here. So I'm just using this one here and psi naught here, right? My intention is to find out psi naught. Psi naught must be function of X, right? Because it is one dimensional. And potential is in stretched in X direction, right? Half m omega square X square. So your psi should be function of X, right? So now what we'll do to solve this, we just replace that direct operator form. Instead of just writing Px, we know that Px is equal to minus IH bar del del X. minus I h bar del del x means you are getting h bar over m omega del del x we are writing. So because minus and I square plus comes, and x operator directly we are putting x, because as we are introducing here del del x, then we can write here x. No more we are putting a operator here. Now if you little bit simplify it, just think, I have written like this, so no problem, right? So because one thing you should keep in mind here, that this is a constant, right? Constant goes the right hand side, that can be factored immediately, it goes to 0. But you cannot factor psi naught x, because psi naught x, you have operator here. After operating whatever you get, then only that will be again x psi naught here multiplied, and whatever you get, that's why that is what you will be getting 0. So if you just put psi naught factor out, then that means you are getting only operator, leftover operator. That is actually no use. So what we do, we put x psi naught here, multiply here x psi naught. So just keep in mind that psi naught is a function of x psi naught, and d psi, because it is one dimensional, I can just write d psi by dx. So using this thing without ignoring, because you cannot ignore psi naught, cannot factor, I mean to say. So without factoring that, we can write like this. So d psi naught and psi by psi naught here minus m omega by h bar x. So this is a simple equation. You can easily solve psi naught. So you just get integration on both sides. You get ln psi naught left hand side, and right hand side what you get, x square by 2 and some constant. Constant also you put ln a naught. That means what we are getting, psi naught x equal to a naught e to the power this one. So this is your ground state now. So ground state, how easily you could find using just simply a dagger, right? So once this is a ground state, so that means if any mass is under potential, it can be mass means it can be gravitational potential or whatever. If it is a charge, it can be some kind of electrostatic potential, whatever. If it is like a harmonic oscillator type things is there, then the ground state always will be this one. Okay, psi naught this one. But this a naught is a constant, right? But if you want to use the psi naught as an eigenstate, normally we should ensure that this is normalized. Because once it is normalized, you can use all the bracket notation very easily. So that means a naught should be a naught. You have to suitably choose. Normalization means how you get normalization. So that psi star, if you integration over entire length a minus infinity to plus infinity, that means square integrable. If you are this is a wave function. If you are square integration, if you are doing, that's a probability density. Probability density minus infinity to plus infinity, that's supposed to be 1. So from there you can find out a naught. So that means a naught cannot be arbitrary. It has to be chosen such that it can be it is actually normalized wave function. It should be treated as a normalized wave function. So what we do, you will see this is the ground state can be normalized by a suitable choice of a naught satisfying this one. And this is the bracket notation. This one we can write like a bracket notation like this. That means inner product of with itself. It's a dot product inner, so it will be 1. So if we just do that one, that means you are just using this one, a naught square, and then e to the power minus m omega by h x square, and then you integrate minus infinity to plus infinity, and then that will be actually you have to use some gamma function things, and then you can find out your constant value like this, m omega by pi h cut, and 1 by 4, power is 1 by 4. So that means you find now a very nice equation. It is a Gaussian, right? So psi naught Gaussian. That means when x equal to 0, that is maxima. x plus minus, both sides it is actually it will be profile is Gaussian, right? It is a Gaussian function. So for a simple harmonic oscillator, the wave function, ground state wave function is simple Gaussian function, right? Now this we try to find out if this is the ground state, what would be the eigenvalue of this ground state? Okay, how to find that? What we know, this is the eigenstate. So if you just operate with Hamiltonian, then you get an eigenvalue E naught, right? This is your just normal Schrodinger wave equation I'm just putting down here, because I know already what is the wave function. Wave function is given by that. So if you just directly put psi naught x here, and this is one-dimensional derivative, a second order derivative, m omega x square, this thing. So if you just insert here, left hand side, then you try to see what you are getting. Now you see this one. First what you would put, psi naught x should come here. Psi naught x means this one. So here psi naught x, if you just do first derivative, you get this one. One derivative I kept, first derivative you get, this one you get. And other thing I am just writing as it is. Right? So that means now you see two variables. One is x. If you are making derivative with respect to x, you have two variables, x and e to the power this one. So you have to differentiate by part, and then you get two terms. This will be two terms. First term, if you just a little bit simplify with h cut square to a multiplication, then you get exactly minus half m omega square x square. That means negative value of the whatever the potential energy part you have here. Okay, of course the factor is there, e to the power minus m omega. So simple straightforward you can get. And the second term you will be getting h cut omega by 2. So that means this one and this one cancelled, right? And then you have a naught multiplied by this one, that is again psi naught. So h cut omega by 2 psi naught is equal to e naught psi naught. E naught is a choice. We have chosen that what is the eigenvalue of this one. So that means the ground state, directly we can conclude that the eigenvalue of the ground state is half h cut omega by 2. That is actually again and again we earlier qualitatively discussed. Now we directly solve that ground state will have a energy of h cut omega by 2. Remember that this is actually the observation by quantum mechanics. Classically, this value, ground state value is 0, because classically, you know, potential energy is half m omega x square. So when kinetic energy is 0, that means x equal to 0, your potential energy 0, total energy can be 0. So for a classical simple harmonic oscillator, the ground state, that means the lowest energy can be 0. But quantum mechanically, somehow we say that there is a ground state, well-defined ground state, and that well-defined ground state also will have energy, that is h cut omega by 2, which cannot be explained classically, but this existence is there, and this is already proved as a experimentally also proved that this energy is always there, but experimentally proved not like a normal classical oscillator. It's a kind of, it was easy to prove whenever you are showing a what you call that, your optical mode as a harmonic oscillator, then you quantum mechanically would treat, then you can get this 0 point energy, and that 0 point energy so-called vacuum energy, and because of that vacuum energy, lot of phenomena, physical phenomena could be explained. Okay, now again I am just starting from mechanical or simple harmonic oscillator, then I am promising that I will be going towards photon. This optical mode can be considered as a harmonic oscillator again and again, and for that actually this A dagger play a major role there to explain optical mode as a harmonic oscillator. Because if you see normally momentum operator and normal harmonic oscillator with mass m with a spring attached, you have the mass m. Okay, so px equal to some value is there and x is there, all those type of things you are using this thing. But once you represent this Hamiltonian in terms of a dagger like this, here you are representing your Hamiltonian like this. If you can find the corresponding value of a dagger in optical domain where you don't need to deal with mass, right? And if you can just analogically you can find what could be the a dagger there, then you can directly use this Hamiltonian instead of that Schrodinger wave equation Hamiltonian. Okay, you don't need to use this Hamiltonian. You need to define the equivalent a dagger for photons for electromagnetics. Then you can use that Hamiltonian and try to find out the solutions. Okay, you don't need to bother about this one. So that is the transition. That is the transition point here. So because whenever we will be using electromagnetic theory, we don't use Hamiltonian like this. Instead, we use Hamiltonian like in terms of a dagger E. Fine. Now you have another important thing, uncertainty. Uncertainty, again, the uncertainty, whatever the Heisenberg uncertainty, you know, that is actually, literally we say that position and momentum cannot be measured accurately, precisely, simultaneously. Okay, so that is the hypothesis. That was the hypothesis. Now here we try to see, we have the ground state, well-defined ground state for a harmonic oscillator. Can we try to find out the uncertainty in position and momentum of the ground state? Because if you see in the ground state that it is defined, well defined in terms of function x and so, right? So we will be interested to know what is the uncertainty, whether it is possible to measure momentum and position simultaneously for the ground state. So we go back again, we know that we have the definition of A and A dagger like this. And from this A and A dagger, it is convenient to again, you can represent position operator in terms of A dagger. You use these two equations. For example, you subtract these two equations, then you get a solution for X operator, right? This minus this, then you can get solution for the px operator. So if you using these two equations, you can actually define x operator like this. It is just A plus A dagger, because if you just add these two, that momentum operator will be cancelled, then you are getting x operator. And if you subtract, then you get your x operator will be cancelled, then you get a momentum operator. So you get this two. So now x operator, momentum operator, you know. And let us try to find out x square in terms of A dagger. Why x square? We'll come to a little while later. Why x square is useful, necessary. So, but while you are finding x square operator, you are multiplying x times x, that is x square. X into x, that means it commutes first or second, does not matter. But what you do, this function multiplied by another function. And whenever you are multiplying the operator, you should keep in mind the sequence, because they may commute and they may not commute. So their sequence should be maintained. So if you put here again A dagger and this one multiplied again, it will be square root will go out. Then A dagger, just all of this you can get step by step. You put, you just multiply A with A, and then A dagger, this one. Now A dagger, A dagger, A. So you are just multiplying again, square you get in this form. Okay, we cannot write A dagger A equal to A dagger because they commute by 1. So they are actually different. You cannot write like that, right? Similarly, px square, if you just try to find out, so what you get, px square means I minus 1 and square root goes, and same way you get this thing, x square. So this is why we derived x square again back and px square in terms of A and A dagger. That you will come to know very quickly, because it is easy to find out uncertainty principle for ground state. And this uncertainty, earlier you remember that we have already discussed about variance. We have defined how the variance, that means what would be the deviation you can get for a particular measurement. Okay, sorry, just hold on. Yeah, so delta x equal to this one. That means there we have just written A and B operator, delta A square, delta B square, two measurement is there. You can recollect some of the other classes we discussed. So here we are talking about delta x. That is actually, you have to take x square minus x square average minus average x and then square. That is actually variance called delta x square. If you square root it, that means deviations you will get. Right? That means the so-called uncertainty in delta x you will be getting. Each time you measure, what would be uncertainty you will be getting. Similarly, delta px is this one. Because here px square is there, that's why x square and px square we just represent it in terms of operator, because I have to solve this one and this one. And this is expectation value. That expectation value we know how we define, right? Earlier we have discussed. Now we are just considering only in terms of bra and Kate. Okay, so expectation of this one, that means we know that psi naught star x psi naught dx integration minus integration, and bracket notation we write like this. But here, since we have learned about how to use bra and Kate and x operator there, just simply we have written like this. So I have just x operator, the constant term I have taken outside, and whatever operator, you know, a plus a dagger I have written here. Okay, can you tell me that what would be the value here quickly? Anyone can tell? Suppose you are, this is a plus, right? So psi naught a psi naught, what you will get? Psi naught
0.
It will be 0, because you are whenever you are operating on A, then what you supposed to get? A psi naught means it is a 0, right? It's a lowering ground state. You are operating ground state with a Kate vector here. Then you get 0. So 0 multiplication 0, you are taking inner product means 0 you will be getting. Now the right side, when you are using a raging operator, then what you get? You get psi 1. So what's you supposed to get? What would be the value? The second term. Anyone?
0 again.
0 again, because you are getting psi naught and psi 1 their inner product. Psi 1 and psi naught inner product. You know that this formula, you know that they are orthonormal. So their inner product, if you take all the wave functions, eigenfunctions, if you take inner product, they are actually equal to delta mn. Only when m equal to n, you get 1. Otherwise, orthonormal, they are 0. Right? So that means if I take average, and of course you remember you are talking about ground state here, right? You are taking a ground state and then average of x, you are getting 0 for sure. Okay? We have written here that 0 plus 0 I have just written. Similarly, if I try to find out x square and then average. So what you supposed to get? X square means operator earlier we have already defined. That means this expectation x square operator is this one. That is what we have derived here, x square. This is the operator I will be using, and I have a bra and Kate. So I am taking expectation of this x square in terms of A dagger. Now, you step by step, if you see what you get. First term, if you see what you supposed to get. Suppose psi naught bra, AA and psi naught kate. First, if you just operate A on psi kate, then you said you should get 0, right? 0 means that is gone. So once you get 0, again you lower it with another operator, that is again same 0 will come. So first term is 0 for sure. And what about second term? So second term, if you are just, first you have to operate this dagger, right? Dagger with a kate. So what you get? If you just operate on kate psi naught, that means you get psi 1. And then again if you operate on A, then what you get? Again psi naught. First you are raising and then again lowering. So that means psi naught. And then psi naught, and you are taking inner product with the psi naught. That means you're supposed to get 1. So this term is giving 1. First term is 0. This term is 1. And this term, when you put A, is 0, right? Once it is get 0, then 0. That's the ground state. You have lower, that is 0. Similarly, here also you get, you see, because of the orthonormality condition, last one, it is raising operator, 1, psi 1 it will be. If you operate this one, psi 1, then again operate psi 2. Psi 2 and inner product psi naught. That is again orthonormality condition, that is again 0. So only this term survives. Okay. And that survives as 1. So 1 means you have only this part. So this is whatever I have written here. Okay. So thus we find delta x definition. This one is actually this value and x square this one. So this is the square root of this one. So this is the uncertainty. Delta x is supposed to get h cut by 2m omega. So you can imagine, depending on the aim, the uncertainty value. Aim is very large, this uncertainty close to 0. So only thing is that m omega, if it is in the order of h cut, then only delta x will be. That's quantum mechanically reposition you are getting. Similarly, if we get, if we try to find out px and px square expectation, same way we proceed, because we have already defined px and px square. So expectation of px will be 0 and px square will be h cut m omega by 2. So same procedure, step by step, but then straightforward you get. So what you get then you are getting delta px. So uncertainty in this one. Uncertainty in momentum. And of course you remember this is for ground state only. Okay. Now delta x, delta px, if you try to find out. If you multiply this, you are getting exactly h cut by 2. So delta x, delta px equal to h bar by 2 or h cut, whatever you can say. So that means uncertainty principle, what we have derived earlier normally, that if two measurand is there, two operator is there, delta a and b, we have derived that. That means delta a and delta b, we have proved that that's supposed to be greater than or equal to h cut by 2, greater than or equal to. But here we are getting exactly equal if we use only ground state. But if it is not ground state, okay, if it is higher, if you are starting with psi 1, you may get delta x, delta px greater than h cut by 2. So that means if any system it is in the ground state, always uncertainty is minimum, but uncertainty will be there. Ground state, this is the minimum uncertainty h cut by 2, but normally, normal case, delta x, delta px is always greater than h cut by 2. Okay, so I want to stop here now. So from here, what I'll be now discussing about the how to get, how to find out normalized higher operator. Psi naught is known now. So once we know psi naught, then I will try to find out how to go to the higher order state and how to get higher order state, but still it should be normalized. Whenever you are operating a psi naught, any state, say n and a, you are getting higher order state, but you don't know whether that is normalized or not. So we need to find out by operating a or a dagger, the thing you are getting, That should be a normalized one, and you should find what would be the normalized value. All these what we are deriving here actually directly will be following in photonics. So you just do a little bit of, and if you try to find, I think this part I was following in AFJ Levy. You can go through that one also. It's a straightforward thing. Okay. If you have any question, you can ask me. Otherwise, we'll see Monday. Okay.